Quoting Victoria Justice for Brainy quotes, "If you've been driving for a little while and nothing's happened to you yet, and you've been texting and driving, you think, oh, nothing is going to happen. But all it takes is something to happen with your friend, or God forbid you, something happening to you to really give you a wake-up call." Ever since cellular or cell phone devices have been distributed to the public, especially with a texting capability, the amount of distracted driving accidents and fatal accidents have gone up exponentially. Texting and driving is a scourge upon this country that needs to be stopped to not only provide safe roadways for our families, but for younger drivers and for older drivers that are either new or can't drive as well. Texting and driving needs to be enforced by the law enforcement and by parents so that we can cut the amount of accidents that happen each year. Through research on this topic, I will be able to deliver this speech to you to tell you why texting and driving needs to stop. So today we're going to take a look at first the dire need for texting and driving to stop. According to the AAA Foundation for Safe Driving, they showed a lot of statistics that showed that texting and driving takes up to about 16% of all fatal accidents each year in the U.S., which equates to about 5,000 deaths per year. Continuing on, it says that even after a text message, even a simple text message is sent, it takes an average of 27 seconds per driver for them to be able to refocus on the road. Now, obviously, with the quickness of our messaging that we have today, that you would never really be able to focus because people would be messaging you right back. According to texting and driving safety.com, teens who say that they text and drive spend an average of 10% of their driving time out of their own lane. So if they're driving half an hour, then that's 3 minutes out of their lane. If they're driving 8 hours, then that is a huge amount of time that they spend outside of their lane, which can cause a very bad accident. 27% of young adults have sent or received a call while driving, and another 48% of kids that are between 12 and 17 said that they have been in the car when an adult or when another person was texting. So continuing on today, we're going to put together the solution and the visualization into one point so that I can make a concise argument. Putting the phone down can mean the difference between life and death. Listen to what I'm about to say here. StopTheWrecks.com say that many text that drivers are short, but many drivers say that it is easy to send a text. IBTimes.com says that through a study shown that it showed that any driver who is distracted with texting takes about 4.6 to 5 seconds to send a simple text message. So let's count that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A lot can happen within those time parameters. According to that same article, if someone was driving at 55 miles per hour and they spent those 5 seconds texting someone, they would have driven over 100 yards, which is the length of a football field. Not only would the accident have happened, but someone would have died, and then the accident would have been over already by the time that these 5 seconds were up. So continuing on today, we're going to look at how states need to create more laws and enforce laws that we have currently to be able to stop texting and driving. According to texting and driving safety.com, only 10 states prohibit all driving ages in any age from using cell phones while driving. But only 32 states prohibit novice drivers from using cell phones at the wheel. And this is according to the same article. So that amounts to a huge amount of people, millions of people that aren't allowed to use it, but even more, like double, triple, 4 times the amount of people that can't use their phone are able to. And even in our own state, there's no law that says that a police officer can pull you over because they see that you have a phone. So continuing on, we're going to look at how parents and our local governments have to educate their citizens and their children. According to an article, Because Texting and Driving Kills from 2015, I'm going to share a personal story. First, my parents enforce no texting. I have not texted at the wheel, and I have saved myself from situations that could have potentially put me into the hospital with it. since my mom was a nurse and my dad was a cop, so they've seen what happens when accidents happen. It's not pretty. So continuing on with the information from Because Texting and Driving Kills from 2015, classes or schools, they can do this by showing examples what vehicles look like after a texting and driving accident, and show that this is what could happen to you and this could potentially kill you. Parents can use what is called a drive cam, which will be in the front, rear, or side parts of the car of their child to check in to make sure that what they are doing is safe and that they're not endangering themselves or anybody else. And the last thing that the DMV or the Department of Motor Vehicles could do is that when they take tests, they could have what is called a fake test, which says that drivers are required to use their cell phones. According to the same article, it showed a video from Belgium where the people were required to use their cell phones while driving, and what happened was crazy. People were driving off the road, they were hitting things. It was just not a good situation to be in. Today we've looked at the need to stop texting and driving with a quote and statistics to show that it needs to be stopped. To conclude, we looked at more statistics and solutions that families and local law enforcement could do to prevent distracted driving. We also visualize how to apply these situations so that they can be more effective in stopping texting and driving. Hopefully one day there will be no text from texting and driving.